be solved.
Come join us in our quest to solve the mystery of Gravity Falls, Oregon by listening to me, Leo, someone who's already seen the show, and Maya, someone who is completely new to the wondrous town of Gravity Falls.
We hope you enjoy Mystery Twins.
Okay then, so, hello everybody, this is our first time doing a podcast. I am Leo.
And I'm Maya.
So, like I said in the intro, or like we said in the intro, Maya has not seen the show before, but I actually have. So she is completely new to this. So what are your first thoughts about the show?
I don't have many first thoughts because, I know nothing about it. But from what I have seen from, the title, and not necessarily the title, but, the picture.
Yeah, because I showed you the picture beforehand, remember?
Yeah, the title picture thingy.
Yes.
That is, it's like a big foot with two kids stepping on the foot. So it seems very interesting and a little bit mysterious.
Yes,
and,
it's
fiction.
It's a very mysterious show. That's what I'm going to say. So I'm also going to say this because I don't think it spoils anything. But the whole show basically leads up to something. Okay? So,
Okay, I'll make sure to remember that.
yes. Okay, so now that we're all ready, are you ready to begin?
Yes, let's go watch the show, and we'll be right back.
Yep. Bye.
So, we just got back from watching the show, and my initial thoughts are, as I said before watching it, it's very interesting and mysterious.
Yes. Very. So, okay.
What?
Sorry. Okay, so, so before we actually get into, our thoughts about it, would you like to do a recap?
Sure, yeah. You want to say how it started?
Yes. Okay, so before we do anything, let's say, so we met 5 characters in the show. Do you know their names?
There was Mabel, there was Dipper.
Yes.
There was...
You kept calling him Zipper the whole time you were watching it.
Yeah, I kept calling him Zipper. There was Uncle Stan.
Yes, his name is Uncle Stan. Good job. Technically, he's a grunkle, but,
A handyman, who I forgot their name.
His name is Seuss. Close enough.
Yes.
And then there was one last character. Do you remember her name?
There was... I forget her name. I think it's... I don't know. I just remember she was a little character. She wasn't, a main character.
Yes, her name was Wendy. She gets to be, a bigger character later on. Alright, so, time for the recap. Would you like to start us off?
You can start us off. I don't have that much of what happened at the beginning.
Okay, so, at the beginning, we just get a really fast clip of Dipper and Mabel in a golf cart, just, driving through a billboard, as any normal person would. And then, they're running from this shadow, monster creature, but we don't know exactly what it is. And, they basically, hit the screen with the golf cart, and then Dipper, can't speak, says, so you're probably wondering how we got into this mess, or something like that. And then, so they lived at home with their parents before they got sent to their Grunkle Stan's house over the summer. And, Okay, so they are now at the Mystery Shack, which is their Grunkle Stan's tourist trap with a bunch of different attractions that aren't actually real. For example, the Sasquatch.
Yeah, that one was a funny one. The Sasquatch is like a Sasquatch.
But, yeah. Okay, so, continue.
What?
Would you like to continue?
Sure. So we get to where there
Okay, so yeah. So we meet the two siblings, Dipper and Mabel. Mabel is currently looking for a summer romance, and Dipper is looking after, is kind of chasing the weirdness of Gravity Falls. They're at their Uncle Stan's house, and
Uncle Stan needs them to put up signs in the forest.
yes, for so yeah, they need them to put up. Yeah, they need to. Uncle Stan asks the siblings to put up some signs in the forest, specifically the creepy part of the forest, which he says, and Mabel says not it. Even though Seuss volunteers, Stan says nobody asked you, Seuss. Poor Seuss. Anyways, I'm sorry if you guys hear like rain outside. It's currently raining. So yeah, sorry about that.
You can probably hear it from me too. Seuss, by the way, is like, he's like, I guess a handyman.
Yes.
But
By the way,
works there.
he is hilarious throughout the series. So fun fact, Alex Hirsch, the creator of the show, he actually voices Seuss and Grunkle Stan.
That's cool.
Yes. Every episode, I'm pretty sure he does like a cameo with his voice. So like every episode, a different character plays Alex Hirsch. So it's really, really cool. It's like a scavenger hunt, but for an actor. Anyways, so Dipper goes out with a sign, and then as he oh yeah, by the way, tell us what you had in your notes. By the way, we were taking notes while we were watching, so yeah, Maya, what did you have in your notes?
So they go into Dipper goes into the forest, and he says he feels like he's being watched.
Yes.
And then he starts to hear some weird noises.
Yeah, as he's putting up this. Sorry, as he's putting up the sign on a tree, I hear some clanking coming from inside the tree.
As he's putting up the sign, he is trying to nail the sign into the tree, and he hears a weird noise, and a weird compartment thing opens up in the side of the tree with a little panel. So he flips some switches, and a little compartment in the ground opens up with a journal inside of it.
Yes. Okay. So nope. Stop there. Okay. So did you notice anything about the journal? So so if you guys didn't know, Alex Hirsch actually published a real life journal in that has all the stuff that's actually in the journal in the show, but it's in real life. So I'm gonna show you and I actually own a copy, so I'm gonna show you the copy. Do you notice anything about it?
It has a hand.
Yes.
And on the palm of the hand it says 3.
Do you notice anything else about it?
The hand actually has 6 fingers.
Yes. So that just explains how weird Gravity Falls is, because it's a very weird place. So he picks up the book, and then Mabel just kind of appears, and then Mabel wants to know what he's looking at, and then Dipper says, let's go somewhere more private. So they go back to the Mystery Shack as Grunkle Stan is talking to an audience of... Wait, no, that comes later. Sorry. Anyways, so
Continue.
What?
Continue.
Yeah, so Mabel tells Dipper that in the half hour that he was gone, she has already found a date.
Yes. So Mabel is looking for romance, as we said, and she found a date. So, going on from here, Mabel, the boyfriend walks in and is kind of suspicious.
Yes, he's wearing dark clothing. He has blood on his face. He's very creepy and strange,
Blood on his face, they ask him about it, and he claims it's jam.
Yes, and when they ask him for his name, he says, normal man, but grunting kind of. And Mabel just...
Normal man?
Yeah, and then Mabel just kind of brushes it off and says, he means Norman. So...
Yeah, and then he's really pale, and no offense to people who are really pale.
He looks like a zombie, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
And then, so Dipper realizes this, and then he goes up to his room and then opens up the journal. And inside the journal, he flips to, like, as Mabel is about to, like, as Mabel's getting ready for her date, he looks through the journal and then finds a page about zombies. And so I am going to read you the page that he has, because like I said, I actually have the real journal in real life. Okay? So I'm going to read you the page.
Yep.
It says, known for their pale skin and bad attitudes, these creatures can often be mistaken for teenagers. Beware Gravity Falls' nefarious zombies. Much like teenagers, they move in packs. They're very susceptible to bright lights and peer pressure. Extremely dangerous.
By the way, I'm going to interrupt. It said susceptible to bright lights and stuff. The guy was in, like, long pants and a sweatshirt with his hood up.
Yes. You could say he looked like this, kind of.
Yeah.
So.
He was like, it was almost as if he was trying to, like, cover himself up. Anyway, continue with the journal.
Okay, so many seem to be undead lumberjacks from the flood, but since they bite new victims when they rise each month, I have seen a zombie mailman, a zombie cop, a zombie Boy Scout. I refuse to buy his cookies. Must stop them at all costs. Their skulls are unbreakable. I cannot find a single weakness. I will watch my back at night and keep a shovel handy. Perhaps there is a way, non-physical way, to defeat them. So yeah, that is the zombie page. And then, so, yeah. And Dipper shows this to Mabel. And so he basically goes up to Mabel and says, your boyfriend isn't what he seems. And then he shows her a page in the book, but he accidentally shows her a gnome page by accident. And then he flips to the right page, which is the zombie page. And then Mabel gets mad at him for, saying that her boyfriend is a zombie. And in her words, she says, I'm gonna be adorable, and he's gonna be dreamy, and I'm not gonna let you ruin it with one of your crazy conspiracies.
So, yeah, they do that, and
Mabel goes on the date.
Yeah, Mabel goes on the date, and I almost said Zipper again. Dipper is watching.
Yes, very creepily, may I add. He is literally stalking them. That is kind of her personal, life. But, that is very, weird of Dipper to do that. Alright, so continue.
So, they go on the date, and
Dipper's just kind of there, being creepy.
Yeah, Dipper's, like, stalking them, and they're not really paying attention. And the zombie...
And he's recording every move that they do.
Yes.
And so he goes back home and looks at the footage.
Arm around Mabel, and his hand falls off.
Yes, when he's looking at the footage, he notices that in one of the videos, Norman's hand falls off. So he immediately goes to get Mabel. But here's the thing. We learn that Norman is actually about to confess something to Mabel. And so Dipper goes up to Wendy, who just arrived in a golf cart, and asks to borrow the keys. And when so Norman says, "Can I tell you something, Mabel?" And then Mabel's like, "Yes, of course, you can tell me anything." And then she's like, "Please be a vampire, please be a vampire." And so, what did Norman reveal?
Norman actually took off his jacket and revealed that Norman is not really a zombie. In fact, he is 5 gnomes stacked on top of each other.
Yep.
And the gnomes...
Do you remember their names?
What?
Do you remember all 5 of the gnomes' names?
The main gnome was Jeff.
Yes.
Then there was a Jason.
Yeah, there was Jason.
There was some, like,
Schmebulok.
What?
Schmebulok.
Yeah, that one.
Schmebulok.
Those are the only ones I remember.
Yeah, and then you missed 2. There were also Carson and Steve.
Yes. So it's 5 gnomes that were like stacked on top of each other.
And they want Mabel to be their queen.
And to be that queen, they need Mabel, or they want Mabel to marry Jeff, which is like the head gnome who was doing all the talking and stuff.
Yes.
So they start like attacking Mabel.
Yes, and then they kidnap her. Yeah, and then they basically kidnap her and bring her to like a little cave. And something that's weird to me is when Dipper is like going to go get Mabel, he does a vertical drop. He drives down a wall with the golf cart. I don't know how he did it, but he found a way. And so he sees the Mabel's literally just kind of, kidnapping Mabel. And he's like, what in the world is going on here? And then he still has, oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you. Before he gets after he gets in the golf cart, he goes up to Seuss, and then Seuss says, here, take a shovel for the zombie. Oh, yeah, and take this bat in case you see a piñata. This is why Seuss is amazing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he just has the shovel in his hand.
So then, continuing on, Mabel gets rescued by Dipper, and Dipper is like driving away on the golf cart, but all the gnomes, like more gnomes than just the 5 that turned into the actual person, they all turn into like one giant monster thingy.
Yeah, so at the beginning, if you can remember, we talked about this big shadowy like figure that was chasing them in the golf cart. Yeah, well, that was just a bunch of gnomes stacked on top of each other. But no, we mean like a bunch of gnomes, like giant. They threw a tree.
Yeah, probably like 4,000.
Yes, and we got to talk about their height more at the end of this segment, where we do. So we do different segments of the videos, and we decided like right before we did this podcast. So we're gonna do the recap. We do our thoughts, and then we do trivia, and then we do our Journal 3 segment, where I read a spot from Journal 3 that has to do with the episode. So yeah, those are gonna be our 4 segments, and if you guys have any suggestions for any, you can make sure to comment. So,
yeah.
Sorry about that. Continue.
Yes. So there's this giant monster-looking thing that's just made out of a bunch of gnomes that stacked on top of each other, and they're like chasing after the 2 kids in a golf cart. Well, they're in a golf cart, and they make it back,
and then Mabel, so then Mabel says, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I have to marry them. And then Dipper is like, no, you don't. Why are you doing this? And then she says, trust me. So Dipper does, and then Mabel takes the ring, and then she says, you may now kiss the bride. And as Jeff is about to go kiss Mabel, she pulls a leaf blower out of the leaves behind her, which one I don't understand why. What?
Like a pile of leaves.
Yeah.
And there was like a random leaf blower underneath the leaves.
Why was there a leaf blower underneath the leaves? I don't understand that.
I know. Anyway, so Mabel like turns on the leaf blower and
it sucks them in for some reason.
So the gnome gets stuck in the leaf blower,
and then they use it as a cannon.
Or turns it on like the opposite, and the gnome Jeff gets like slingshotted into the monster of gnomes.
Yep, he just gets cannoned into the
gnomes.
Yep,
just, like
explodes.
Like they all fall down.
Yeah, they basically just explode, and then so that's the gnomes taken care of, and then so the kids go back into the mystery shack, where we find Stan counting his money because he's just a greedy greed like that. And he makes fun of the kids and says, "Do you guys get by a bus?" And so he notices that they like don't really want to talk to him. And then he says, "You know what? I kind of overstocked, even though he didn't. He's just trying to be a nice guy. So why don't you guys pick why don't you guys each pick one item from the shop to pick for yourselves. And then Dipper asks, "What's the catch?" And then Stan says, if you don't pick one soon, I may change my mind." So, what did they pick, Maya?
So, Dipper picked like a hat
Yes.
with a tree on it.
Yep, with a pine tree on it. Cause get it? They're the Pines family.
Yeah, and then Mabel picked. This is a little crazy. Mabel picked a slingshot.
Nope. She did not pick a slingshot.
Mabel picked a grappling hook.
Yes. So then the show kind of like ends on a happy note. But no, it doesn't. We get this final scene with Stan in it. Now, what does Stan do in the final scene?
Stan, so there's like this picture, not really picture, but it's a vending machine, okay? And the vending machine, Stan walks into the frame and types in a code on the vending machine, and the vending machine opens up as if it's like a door.
Yes, not the door to the vending machine.
And Stan goes into like a room or something or a hallway behind that vending machine, and the vending machine closes. So that shows that Stan is probably hiding something.
Yes, he is hiding something. I'm not going to tell you what though.
But there's one more thing. During the credits.
Yeah, there's a code. So
there is a secret message. Yes, at the end of the episode.
So yeah, I decoded this.
You can decode it, and what do you think it says, Leah?
What do you mean? What do you think it says? I decoded it. So hold on, let me tell you guys about the code real quick. So each episode, there's a code in the end credit scene, and in this episode, you have to use the Caesar cipher, and if you do 3 letters back, it says, "Welcome to Gravity Falls." I feel like that is a great way to end the recap.
Yes.
Alright, now that is the recap section done. Now, on to the thoughts. Okay, so, thoughts and feelings.
I mean, I said it from before we even watched the episode. Right after we watched the episode, it's very curious, mysterious, and I feel like there are so many parts that are going to add up to each other. For example, the journal and the secret vending machine thing. I feel like in the last couple of episodes, it's all going to come together.
Yes.
How do you feel?
So you kind of got that right, but I'm not going to tell you, what you got right.
Spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers. So, what was your favorite part?
My favorite part? That's a tough one. Well, there's so many important parts. And things, something I think would be important is, the vending machine, the last scene, where the guy goes into the vending machine.
Yes.
That seems important, and, the journal seems important. But my favorite part is probably the leaf blowing part.
Yep, that
when the
was
gnome
pretty
gets,
funny.
Shot into the other gnomes, I feel like that's funny.
Okay, so, personally, my favorite part was... Oh, the echo for some reason. Anyways, my favorite part was probably when, Dipper...
You got this.
Yep, I got this. So, as Dipper goes into the golf cart, we see Stan with a crowd of people just, telling them, about this thing. And I wrote it down, and it is a rock that looks like a face rock. Rock that looks like a face.
Oh, yeah, that part.
Yeah, that is hilarious. And everybody's just asking, is it a face made like a rock, or is it a rock face rock? It's very funny.
Yeah, that I like that part. That's funny.
So, what do you think this means for Gravity Falls?
Can you repeat that? My brain just stopped.
So, what do you think this means for Gravity Falls? The journal, the vending machine?
I mean, as I said once, I'll say it again. I think it's all gonna lead up to something. I think the uncle may be doing something, or like there's so many. We've only seen one episode. There's so many possibilities.
And yet, you're not. And yet, like the first episode, when you watch it, it just like leads you in, and you just want to see more. What did you think of the twist with the gnome?
The gnomes?
Yes.
The gnomes were, they were. Ooh, I just had a really good idea. I feel like there might be a point where like a lot of the different things, like the monsters, like the zombies and the gnomes and stuff, might like come together and try and like destroy Gravity Falls, and they're gonna have to like save it.
I'm not gonna say anything, but that could happen.
Yeah, I don't know. That was just an idea.
Yeah, it could happen. I'm not saying anything, but maybe. Anyways, so do you think that concludes this segment?
Yeah, I think we're good for this segment. I think this has been a good episode.
Okay, well, now it's on to trivia. Trivia time. Okay then. So, Mabel finds a boyfriend in how much time? While Dipper was gone.
They say this in the show. It's about 30 minutes.
Yep, half an hour. Good job. What magazine was Stan reading at the beginning?
It's like Men's Golden Chains or something.
I'm gonna allow it. It's Gold Chains for Old Men. What the heck? In my notes, Grunkle Stan autocorrected to Grunion Stan. Anyways, so when Dipper screams zombie at the beginning of the episode, what does Stan hear?
Like Chombies.
Incorrect. He actually hears Crombie.
I knew it was something like that. I was close.
Yes. So, what does Seuss think of the mailman?
Seuss thought that he's a werewolf.
Yes, that's correct. Okay, so
yeah, that was a funny part too when I first heard of it.
Yes. So, Seuss says this line: "My wisdom is."
Your what?
My wisdom is.
I don't know.
He says, "My wisdom is both a blessing and a curse."
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now I remember that.
Okay, so what does Norman say when Mabel asks, "How do I look?"
Sparkly? No. I think it is like sparkly.
He says, "You look shiny."
Shiny. I was close.
Okay then, so when Mabel, okay, so when
I can give you some trivia questions.
Okay, well, I have a couple more. So, what does Mabel call the gnomes when she's getting tied down?
That one, that's a tough one. I don't know.
She says, "You guys are butt faces."
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That one made me laugh.
What letter was the shape of the code on the vending machine?
Oh, that one was tough. I'm gonna go with G.
It looked like a C.
C, I was gonna say C.
You were so
I think
close.
G and C are really close.
Yes. Okay, so do you have any for me?
Let me look. This one's kind of easy. How many gnomes build up the boyfriend?
5.
Yes, good job. Next trivia question. What happens to the gnomes, like, when they think it's a zombie? What happens to the zombie when he reaches his arm around?
His hand falls off.
Yeah. That was a hard question to ask. Let's see. Why? This is a basic one. If you were paying attention at all, you would have gotten this. Why do the gnomes want to, like, why do the gnomes kidnap?
Because they want to make her their queen.
Yeah, Mabel. Why do the gnomes kidnap Mabel? What tool did...
Shovel.
No. Let me finish my questions before you answer.
Okay.
What tool did Cassie, not Cassie, why do I say Cassie? What
Grappling
tool
hook.
did Mabel and
Dipper.
yeah, Dipper. I keep forgetting all their names. What tool did Mabel and Dipper use to defend Jeff?
Leaf blower.
What?
Leaf blower.
Oh, yeah, I did not hear that, sorry. Good job. That's all my trivia questions I have.
All right, now it's on to the final segment, which is the journal. Here we go. Okay then, so the page that we are going to be looking at today is the gnomes. So,
basically how this is gonna work is we're gonna just choose a page. So, like,
it has
as
to be
we said
related to the
earlier,
episode.
Leo has the journal, like
Yes.
an actual journal that
Yeah,
he also wrote.
like I told you guys earlier, I have the actual journal that they used in the store that they used in the show, and
So we're just gonna use that and, like, read a page. Every episode, we're gonna read a page.
yes,
from it.
and the page is going to be about the monster that they face.
Yes.
Sometimes, not all of them are in there.
Yeah.
So, gnomes. I encountered my first okay, so this is not Dipper, this is the author. I encountered my first gnome when I
said yeah.
Yeah. I encountered my first gnome when I encountered my first gnome when I awoke one morning and found it arguing politics with my stuffed bear head above my fireplace. Danger unknown. They have shown themselves capable of alarming ability to stack their little bodies into giant formations. So keeping my snacks on high shelves has done nothing to stop their persistent nibbling. Another gnome stole my glasses and ate 2 of my cassette tapes. Common height is 10 to 18 inches. This includes the hat. They refuse to remove the hats. Do they have pointy heads? ? Mushrooms are a huge part of the gnome's life. Used for money? ? Almost lost a finger trying to grab the hat. Several tried to kidnap me. No, sorry. Several tried to, air quotes, kidnap me as a, air quotes, offering to the queen as I was sleeping. But I just drop-kicked them out the window when I awoke. Unsettling. Weakness. Dipper wrote, leaf blowers. Pointy hats. I saw one taking a squirrel bath. I wish I could unsee this.
Okay.
That's it.
What?
That's the end of that part.
So, I just wanted to say that I forgot to mention this, but the gnomes, when they tried to kidnap Mabel, the gnomes said, they said, we are a powerful race.
Yes.
It seems like, I don't know, I feel like that seemed a little bit important.
It might be, might not be. All right.
So
you ready to end it?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Thank you all so much for watching this episode.
Yep. I
You
hope.
enjoyed.
Yeah, we hope that you guys can. Yeah, we hope that you guys continue to stick around for more Mystery Twins. And we thank you for watching.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Because their parents.
Yeah, because
What?
what? Did you say that parents died?
No, I said their parents stole it.
Oh, okay. But yeah, so,
Cutting
and
that out.
now,
We're cutting that
yeah, we're cutting that out.